Hi Stampers, it's Elizabeth and I'm here with the first in a whole bunch of video tutorials that I'm going to be sharing with you all for the holiday season. So I'm excited for the first one. It is easy peasy. The first few are actually really easy and I can't wait to share them with you. I'm going to get you geared up for the holidays. So there may be some cards, but there's going to be a lot of 3D items and giftable items as well. So I gathered together with some other Stampin' Up! Demonstrator leaders in Canada, and every quarter we do a live day of presentations with some of our team members. And so some of the projects that I'm going to share are projects that were shared on that event as well. So, but there's some new projects that I'm going to be sharing with you as well. So I see a couple of people on, so that means that I must be live. And just going to give it a few minutes. I hope you're all doing well and you are, it's cold. It's gotten cold. I think the fall is definitely on its way out. And I said to my boss this morning that if it was any colder, that all that rain might have been treacherous. So yeah, so if you're on, just give me a hey there, hi there, ho there, and so that I know you're here and that you can hear me okay. I have my computer here beside me, so it's Ellen. Yay, Ellen. Thanks for joining in. I'm going to inspire you, I hope, Ellen, with some projects that you may not have in your arsenal. So I don't know if any of you know Ellen, but she does a craft sale at her home. So I know she's been busy working on getting all of her crafting things set up. So someone else I got a thumbs up. I have to refresh my screen all the time, and Emily's watching. Yay! So let me show you. So the first project, some of the projects are really simple and they're not going to be long. The first one is simple, but I'm going to walk you through with the measurements. So, and I'm going to show you how to put it together, but there's two versions. So the first version is an elf, a little elf basket. And oops, let me get over his top. So this is the little elf basket, and it holds, excuse me, some candies. So it can be an elf basket or it can be a Santa basket, which is what we're going to make today. So if you grab your pen and paper, I'm going to give you some measurements. And so this one is really simple to put together. I participate, when I go to Stampin' Up! Events, I participate in swaps. And this was a swap that came out. You can't, loud and clear. Thanks, Molly. So this was a swap that I had received, I think it was quite a few years ago, to be honest with you. And I loved it and I kept it and I've recreated it for this year. Yeah, I've had this on my shelf for quite a while. It's one of those things that I've wanted to make for a while. So I've recreated it and I'm going to give you instructions on how to do it. So this is the elf version, and then we're going to make one in reds, and it's going to be the Santa version of this project. So the first thing, so the elf is granny apple green, basic black, basic white, and then this is silver foil. You can see the foil there. For the Santa version, it's going to be real red, basic black, basic white. Oops, this is black. And we're going to use gold foil for his buckle. So the first thing you need is This is the base box, and it is 3 inches by 3 3/4 of an inch. And that's going to be in Real Red. This is Real Red, and it is 2 inches by 10 inches. In the basic black, you need, this is the belt, and it's 3/4 of an inch by 10 inches. And these are the handles, and there you need 2, and they are 1/2 inch by 5 1/2 inches. You need a piece of gold foil, and that is 1 inch by 1 1/4. And then another piece of basic black, and that's 3/4 of an inch by 1 inch. And I'm going to actually start off with that now. And I'm just going to use some of the Tombow glue. Oh, and you'll need Tombow glue, Terran tape, and some clothespins or paper clips. And all that's not essential, but I'll show you. It's to sort of hold the edges while it dries. Oh, and then the stamp that I'm using is, I'm using the Noel from the Tidings and Trimmings. And if you joined the class that I had a while back, you would have gotten that stamp set as part of the class. And oh, you need a flag, a banner of some type, and I use the Tasteful Textures. Nope, the yep, Tasteful Label dies. I use this one here, but you can use any kind of banner flag and banner that you have. And then for this piece, I ran it through the Tasteful Textiles 3D embossing folder, and it was just to give it a little bit of detail. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Tombow glue, and I am going to adhere this on the basic black on top of the gold foil, and you're going to leave even space on all 4 sides. Whoops, and that's, I've got a little bit of, okay, so, and it's going to be even, which is not very even. Let me pick that up and just adjust it. And because it's the Tombow glue on the foil, it will take a bit to cure without wiggling it around. So I'm just going to move that to the side. Okay, so with the piece of, this is the Real Red, and it is the base of the box, and it's 3 inches by 3 3/4 of an inches. And we are going to score it. I'm going to bring up my Simply Scored, and we're going to score it on 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. So 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1/2 inch. And we're going to bring the Simply Scored back up in a minute, but I'm just going to get this done. And this is the bottom of the box, and we do this all the time. I'm just going to snip up on that score line, and then I'm going to edge it like that, and just, or wedge it, I should say. And so you've got that notch, and I'm going to do it on this side. So I'm going to go straight up. I'm going to wedge it like that, and I'm going to go straight up and wedge it like this. I think these candies would be cute if you have a children's table. I'm actually going to do it for, I think, some of my coworkers, and put candies in it at Christmas and leave it on their desk. I wonder if you could put a gift card in there. Let me just, I usually have a gift card or a gift, something that's gift card size in my little box here. But I don't know what I've done with it. I should have thought of that ahead of time. Okay, so I don't know where my sample gift card is. But I'm wondering if you could put a gift card in there. I'm not sure what size a gift card is. Oops, I don't need that either. I think it might be too small for a gift card. All right, so we've got these four corners cut out. I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to fold all the edges in, and I'm going to really score and burnish that. Now for these tabs, I'm actually going to put some Tombow. You can use tear and tape. It's got to be something that has that can withstand movement. So I'm going to put some some Tombow glue in there, and I'm going to fold that over, and I'm going to hold that down. And this is where I'm bringing in one of the clips. So you can use binder clips. I'm just going to put a clip on there like that, and I'm going to do that on all four sides. And so you're making a little box base. And a few of the projects that I'm going to make over the next while are going to follow the same type of pattern to create the base of the box. And while I'm at it, I'm going to do this one as well. These are clips that Stampin' Up! Has sold over the years, and if I have any left over, I usually hold on to them for this type of thing. And I'm going to put another one there. And this is an old binder clip, and I'm going to put one there. And that's just going to hold all the corners together while it cures. Okay. All right. So now the piece of red that is 2 inches by 10 inches. This is something that I calculated. The first box that I got. This was the version that I got from one of the swaps, and like I said, I've had this a long time. I ended up scoring the sides so that it would be just a little bit cleaner. So this one, you'll see the sides are not scored. So it's up to you. You can score the sides if you want, or you don't have to. But if you want to score the sides, I've calculated it. It's 1 3/8, 3 1/2, 6 1/4, and 8 2/8. And again, I'm going to this time gently fold them. Like if you didn't score it, when you wrapped it around the base, you could finger score it as you went along, but this, I'm just going to do this, I wanted to score it like that to have a cleaner edge. Okay. Now I'm going to take tear and tape, and I'm going to start in the middle. And I'm going to put tear and tape, put that in the garbage, all along the bottom. So the thing with the tear and tape is, as you're going along, I want to make sure it's at the bottom, but make sure that you're kind of straight. As you're going around the corners, you might get out of alignment, so just sort of force it back up into so that it's even, because if you keep going around and don't force it back up, you're going to end up with it off the edge of the base. I know that I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it'll happen the same thing when we actually wrap this around the bottom. You just have to make sure you're straight and you're not going off kilter. And burnishing that down, and then we're going to come back to the center. And the reason why I started in the middle is because I want the seam of this wrap to be in the middle, because it is going to get covered by this piece here. So the seams are going to match underneath here, and so we're going to cover it up so you don't see any seams. And I'm just going to take my fingernail and rub that in, burnish it in. This might be wrapping this on the bottom might be the most tricky part of it, the trickiest part of it. Okay, now I'm going to start peeling off the adhesive, Come on. You could have used Tombow glue for this as well. Okay. Okay. So I've torn off the top part. I'm not going to tear off the whole thing yet. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to match up the corners like that, and I'm going to match it up along the edge. Okay, and I'm going to seal that down so you can see how I'm matching up the edge. Now, as I go around the corner, I want to make sure that I'm keeping it straight and that I'm not, it's not crooked. So you may have to force it a little bit to keep it straight. And there's the, oops, oh, you can't see it. There's the second side. Now this side I'm going to just do half because it's a long side. And I'm going to bring it around. And see, if I were to, this is what I mean, if I were to let it go like that naturally, it's going to kind of not be even. So I'm just going to kind of force it back up a little bit so that it stays along the base of the box. Okay, and now you'll see how quickly this comes together. And now the last part. Oh, the one thing I forgot to do, I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape down here as well, because this side is going to go on that side and it needs to have some adhesive there to secure it. Okay, pull this off. Okay, and now I'm going to bring this over, and I'm not quite even on here, so I'm going to have to a little bit force it down. Okay, there we go. You'll see I didn't do a very good job of putting the tear and tape on, but it's sealed, and this is going to get covered up by this anyhow. Okay. Now what did I do next? Okay, so now I'm going to take some Tombow glue on this piece that I have embossed, and this is the basic white, and it's called the Fur, and it's 1 1/4 by 2 inches, and I'm using the Tombow glue only because it's been embossed in the Tasteful Textiles 3D embossing folder, and so it's got lots of crevices in it, and I'm going to put some Tombow glue, and I'm going to adhere that to the front, covering this seam. And it's going to be flush on the top and bottom. And I'm going to just turn it over and kind of press into it so that it is adhered and onto the box. And so there's the front of the box, and it kind of has that look of fur. Any embossing folder that you have at home that would give you that same look would work. The original one that I received wasn't embossed, but you know me, I like to take it up a little bit, and I think having it embossed just finishes it off a little bit. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is take the 2 handles, and I'm just going to run it through my fingers to give it a little bit of an arch. And one is going to go like that, and it's going to go on this side of the fur. And I am going to put tear and tape, 1 strip of tear and tape down, and I'm like that. I have to tell you, yesterday today is Monday, so yesterday I had to go into work. Well, for personal, because there was something on my desk that I needed to bring home and I forgot it. So I went into work. It was about 10 o'clock in the morning, and there was a car in the parking lot that had the license plates removed, and I wouldn't have noticed it except for there was a big orange coat on the outside. There was no other car in the parking lot. It's a Sunday. There was a car sitting, and there was a big orange coat sitting outside the car, and then I looked, and the window had been smashed, the license plates taken off. So I called took a picture and I sent it to one of our security people, and they called the police. Turns out it was an employee's car. He had a flat tire on Friday night, so he left his car there. But somebody on the weekend broke into the car, smashed the window, took the car seat, took the license plates off the car, and also lifted the car up and took the catalytic converter off the car. Could you believe it? But apparently the police said this is a huge thing right now in this city, in the GTA, cars having their catalytic converters removed. Go figure. Like, can't these people do something for good instead of evil? Anyhow, okay, so I've pulled off the tape, and I am putting it on both sides of the box, matching up the two sides. I didn't do a very good job matching up that side, but it will still look beautiful. And now I'm going to put this one up. And then pull the tape off. And I'm putting this, the next thing that we're going to put on is sort of his belt buckle. And so I've put this underneath the belt buckle just to give it a little bit more stability. Okay, so there's Santa's pants, and you'll kind of pull it out like that, but that'll get pulled out when we put the belt buckle on, or sorry, the belt on. Okay, so here is the belt, and it's in black, and it is 3/4 by 10 inches. And again, I'm going to start it in the middle because his buckle is going to go over this, right? So in this case, I'm just going to curl it a little bit with my fingers, and I'm going to actually pleat it as I go around the corners with my fingers. I'm not going to score this. And I'm going to put some Tombow glue because that's going to give me a little bit of wiggle room because we want it to match up with the top edge of his pants. Okay. Alrighty. Oops. Now I'm going to start in the middle like that. And this is where I'm using the clips for, right? So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to put one of the clips there. They may move out of alignment, but just keep your eye on it so that it doesn't dry before you move it back in. And now I'm going to finger press that corner, and I'm going to match it up along that edge. I'm going to finger press that corner, and I'm going to put along that edge. And you got the drift, or the gist, I should say. Finger press that corner and bring it along. And now I'm going to finger press that and bring it along, and I'm going to adhere it in the middle. And now I'm going to take these other clips that I have, and I'm going to use that just to hold it down while I just stamp the Noel. So that's the part of his pants, or Santa's pants. And now we got to do a little bit of stamping, right? So now I have the Noel. You can use any stamp you want. It doesn't have to be this stamp. You can use Merry Christmas if you've got one that worked. This worked perfectly for this little tag. And I think, yeah, I put it on a bit of a slant. Oops, let me just make sure. Noel, there we go. Okay. And I'm going to use my Crop-A-Dile. You can use anything that you have that would give you like a hole there. And any type of ribbon that you want. This was the playful, this was the cat and dog, you know, it was black and red. And actually, you know what? Oh no, I'll use this one because his belt buckle is black. There's also a red stripe, but I'll use this black one. And I'm just going to tie this around, hang this like that, and tie a loop knot. You can tie a bow if you so desire. I'm going to tie a knot, and I'm actually going to trim it off. Or you could do to from on here. There's so many things that you could write on here. It doesn't have to be Noel. Okay, there we go. So there is the Noel. And now I'm going to take these off. And then the last thing, and you'll see how quickly this came together, is I'm going to put the belt buckle on here, and I'm going to put it on so that part of it is up slightly over the edge of the belt. And I'm going to be putting this on with a couple of dimensionals. You know, I'm going to put 4 dimensionals. Just don't put the dimensionals too high to the top so that they stick over the edge of his belt. Okay. Whoops. There you go. So there is Santa's pants. Okay, thumbs up. What do you think? What do you think? And here was the elf's pants. Now, with the elf's pants, I kind of pulled it out a little bit so that it's a little bit wider. So with the Santa's pants, you can leave them as they are, or you can pull them out a little bit to give you a little bit more width, like that. Yeah, I think, Emily, great for table favors. These are so adorable, easy to do. Oh, I'm so happy you're here, Anne. So they're so easy to do, simple, easy peasy. I will put all the instructions, the measurements in this thread at the beginning so that you have them and can follow along, and you can create your own. So if you use, this one's using Granny Apple Green and the silver, and then this is using real red and the gold. And I think personally that needing your inspiration. Oh, thanks, Anne. Yeah, I think that these are super cute and easy to do. And you know, I didn't do the measurements, but what I suggest when you're cutting first is to cut the 2 inches by 10 inches piece first, and that way then you can, that's the longest piece that you need, because paper is 8.5 by 11, right? So if you cut the 2 inch by 10 inch first, and then cut the rest of it, you can get two boxes out of 1.5 sheets of paper, or 3 boxes out of 2 sheets of paper. I think that's what it worked out to, something like that. So I hope you guys like this, and if you make it, I want you to put your picture here below and show me your creations if you make this. So that's my challenge to you guys. The next project I'm going to do, I'm actually not sure. I'm probably going to do it Thursday night. If I get home in time tomorrow night, I might do it. It's a really simple project, and but again, it's quick to do, and it could be, I'll give you some ideas for what it could be used for tomorrow, or when next time I come on. So right now I have 6 projects that I'm going to be sharing with you, and I have more in the works, but 6 are done and prepped and ready to go. So if I can come on tomorrow, I will, but if not, I definitely will be on Thursday night. So any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Just let me know if you have any questions. I'm actually trying to see comments here. I did something with my computer, and now it's like, okay, Santa elf container. So there we go. And sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't show up. I don't know. I'm not good. I'm for as much technology as I do, I'm sometimes really not good with it. So I know Ellen is probably saying to herself, "Oh my God, Elizabeth, you're not in your pajamas and you're not asleep. So this is unusual for you." I'm picking on Ellen again. So there they are. They're not big. They probably look bigger on the other way around, but so they're what? How big are they? Well, the base is like 2 and 3/4 by 2 and 3/4 by 2. So, oh, you're welcome, Emily. Hope to see you guys next time. And any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll put the measurements in the thread here. All right. Have a good one, and we will see you again later this week. Bye.